Yeah, man, a Willie Gun sound, man. Willie Gun from San Diego, California.
The Allen's Army Frontline Charge. Your votes this week have been calculated, processed, analysed, and some of them have been pasteurised. But one thing's for sure, we've got 3 climbers, 2 re-entries and 2 new entries. Here's the start of the story. In base position, this week's number 10, dropping 1 place. LL Cool J and Rock the Bells, the original mix. A drop of 3 to 9 for Light and Rich, Big John and the Maniacs and Roaches. And our first re-entry at number 8 for Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew. My hands are quicker than the eye. You'll hear it tonight. Our first new entry at number 7, the TKA Crew and One Way Love. And our second re-entry at number 6, Africa Bambata, Bambata's theme. Highest new entry, straight in the halfway house, number 5, the Majestic Crew and the Untold Story.
We as a crew along our record categories come from 7 spin masters. Now 3 MCs, they go by M-A-J-E-S-T-I-C. We spin 12-inch planners on 2 techniques. Don't have to think about rhymes just to make you see that we're deaf, fresh, and ready for you to get you on the floor, make your boogaloo. So grab your partner by the hand and start to move your hips. The Majestic Crew is here to eat your dance scholarship, certified by you, a body moving therapist. In the field that we live is where we are specialists. So we came to this party just to have fun. Anybody on the floor, if you're all the one, say one. One. Scratch 1 time. Say 2. 2. Scratch 2 times. Say 3. 3. Scratch 3 times. Say 4. 4. Scratch 4 times.
Highest new entry this week. At number 5, straight in for the Majestic Crew. No prisoners and no survivors. Cut to the bone. Listen.
International Rescue. Lady Penelope speaking.
Hi there, Penny. Jeff here. We've got a hot one for you.
Up 4 to number 4. Lovebug Starsky. The House on the Hill.
Well, I was going to a party in Amityville. Matter of fact, it was the house at the top of the hill. But I wouldn't have never went for nothing in the world except I got an invite for one of my girls. When I got to the house, the grass was over the fence. The atmosphere around would keep me in suspense. So I rang the doorbell like it ain't no thing. And this gruesome guy came and said,
"Hello, Starsky. I understand they call you the love bug. What a cute little bug. I'd like to put you between my fingers."
It's the house on the hill. Amityville. House on the hill. So he grabbed me by the collar, picked me off my feet. And all I could hear was this spooky beat. And when he finally put me down, my heart felt like stopping. But it wouldn't stop because the house was rocking. The bass was kicking and the house was loud. And let me tell you, it wasn't your average crowd. They had this guy on the mic, he was dressed in black. He had a messed up face with a hunch on his back. It's the house on the hill. It's called Amityville. House on the hill. Amityville. I told you it's the house on the hill. I heard the terrible crash, and on the stage was the group called the Monster Mash. And there's a little something I must admit, I never seen so many girls with covered in it. And in the middle of the floor, I saw a hat and a coat, but the rest wasn't there, and there ain't no joke. There was a girl at the bar, she was looking fine, but she turned out to be the bride of Frankenstein. It's Amityville now. Come on, girl, we going straight to. We gonna take a visit. It's the house on the hill. Everybody goes to Amityville. House on the hill.
I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Scotty deemed us down here by mistake. Spock, you've got to get us out of here. Hi, Captain, I'd like to, but we cannot get a fix. Spock, the people here are dressed so strangely. Strange 20th century life form. There's an actual love bug walking around. Spock, analysis, please. Yes, Captain, no bug. 20th century phenomenon.
It's Amityville, y'all. You want to go to the house on the hill? Amityville, house on the hill. Black walked up with no kind of class. fast, drinking something that was bubbling from out of his glass. So I panicked and I hit the deck, 'cause I swore he was coming straight for my neck. Then he said,
Yo, Starsky, there's a need to fear. Didn't you read the invite? You're the star of the year. All the monsters came from miles around just to hear you rock, because you got down, down.
you wanna go? Come on. There's enough room we can all go to. The house on the hill. The next thing you know, with the hand clap shower, I realized I was the man of the hour. So I got on the mic without no mistake, and all the monsters in the house started to break. And then I put down the mic, said that is that. Gave Track a high five and he changed to a bat. So I said, today I'm asleep like a lamb, but don't you know we were rocking at the Monster Jam? You wanna go? Come on, let's go to. You didn't understand me? I said Amityville to the house on the hill. It's the house on the hill. You make the left and you make the right, then you go Amityville. House on the hill. At Capital Radio with Mike Allen and also the Love Bug Starsky.
You know it. Hit it. Love Bug Starsky, highest climber this week on the Allen's Army Frontline charts. You're catching it all on Capital 95.8 FM. I'm Mike Allen. Thanks for your calls. Thanks for the messages. They're all on tonight's Roll of Honor for the crew call. We've got to move at one place in the right direction. Up one to number 3 for Grandmaster Flash and Style, the US 12. Don't forget the album is out on import now. Grandmaster Flash, The Source. You'll catch the music from that tonight. A drop of 1 to this week's 2 for some Mix-a-Lot and Square Dance Rap. That's the bad news. Here come the good news. Scheduled for UK release next Friday. Now this obviously applies to the specialist shops. If there isn't one in your area, move. Failing that, stick around. You should get a copy in 10 days. That's the bad news for them. I reckon they'll be up again next week in the prime position. So who has taken the prize? But of course, the boys from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Word of Mouth and DJ Cheese, Coast to Coast.
Right about today, in the place to stay, we are Word of Mouth. I am the KMC, and I'm MC Original G. We're down with DJ Cheese, and we're going coast to coast. forget that I'm speaking and singing and sure to please. Most definitely from sea to sea. And it has qualities I will enforce to rock this place till I get hoarse. But with G's on the side and G's in the back, we're going coast to coast and it's like that.
DJ Cheese on the place to be, coast to coast. Agree with it, or you think it's the place it deserves to be? Call me 01388 388 7919. The Allen's Army Frontline Chart. And if you've got a short crew call after your vote, then please stick it in there. A couple of troops I've got to say hi to. A massive yo to Paul, Mr. Rad, Karen, Tina, Spiky D, Crazy Kev, John, and I've got to let Susan know that Rad is be sorry. And if Martin is listening, bad news, Martin. According to the man, you're not fresh. That should ease everything in that part of the world. A call to Fresh Breath and Beat Breath and Dr. D at the Beat Force crew. TAB in Dartford, Papa Fringin, B-Jam, Mixologic, the Mixologists, and something or other about the Wrecking Crew. But it's a really naff line, troops, so I'm just giving you all that I got. Apart from B-Jam, we've got a D-Jam who wants to say yo to the Def Cut Duo and the Unique DJ. Hi, boys. How you doing? He said, what's the address of Capital? It's Mike Allen, Capital Radio, P.O. Box 958, London, NW1 3DR. A call to DJ Superstition in Windsor, the real DJ Superstition, he says. Wow, you boys will have to fight that out amongst yourselves. And a yo to Audio Rick from Jay, Cindy Lee, Barbie D, and the Funk Mistress. Hi, girls. You're looking dangerous tonight. TT Rocker and Batlin SWR, ECT, the Phantom Whiz, Whammo, and MC Competator, MC Dr. Naughty and the crew, including Uncle Dabra and DJ Boss, a Yoda Sharky, Dusty and Digo from Ski, and EC2 and Simon, who is whack. Somebody told me that. I don't know. I never met him. But Simon, straighten your act up. And Dr. Beat's got to be up for a call. 95.8 FM. This is The Boss in London. It's 9 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Don't forget, at 9:30, my special guest, T-Kid from New York, talking about graffiti, as is known. This guy's bombed trains, you know. I mean, whole trains, king of the line. I mean, we're not talking low profile here, troops. And you'll find out where he's at, where he's coming from, and what he hopes to do. 9:30 on the place to be. That is here, in case anybody asks you. This is the reason we all came to play.
And if you like to meet him, I'll gladly introduce the sound master, y'all, and you know he's got juice. Among DJs in the world of hip-hop, or any other culture where the DJs rock. If my man ain't the best, then he isn't ace. Cause school any fool how to rock the place. So all you fly girls and all you fly guys, get the beat in your feet and real. that I'm the bona fide rapper, special KMC, with the sound, Mr. Y'all, to move your body. And begin to dance. I'm gonna let you know about my DJ's hands. On 2 turntables, he applies the tricks. Not even Betty Crocker has a better mix. A vicious backspin with a stretch back cue. And second DJs, he annihilates you. He never took a lesson, he can hold his own. Just like the MC on the microphone. Because his hands are quick, the rhymes that say stick. So turn up the sound, cause you know it's the lick. It's not an overstatement, it's a bona fide fact. Cause we're the fresh crew and we can never be whacked. So if you like the beat and you think it's fly, it's the sound that just has quicker than the
Mike out.
Between now and 10 o'clock, the fresh beats. Yeah, for sure. MC Boob and Why Don't You Do the Feeler with the Pee-wee Dance. And also at 9:30 in Conversation. T-Kid from New York, one of the best-known graffiti artists in the world. Also the Masterman Committee, Houdini and James Brown. Is there anything else in the world? If there is, we haven't got it here. Nurse.
Play it for Harry, play it for me. Play it for Harry, play it for me. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
Get through it, y'all.
Now my name is MC Boob and I like to say hi. To introduce this dance called the Feel-I. Now you can get up and bend your legs. Shake your hands up and down like you're cracking eggs. Now while this is in motion, you move your hips, do the Feel-I dance while I move my lips. All the girls in the house that think they're fly, just get cold stupid and do the Feel-I. Don't laugh at the name, just give it a chance. You got Feel-I's on your feet, so why not do the dance? Jump around, act like a fool. That's the Pee-wee homie, and I think it's cool. Now with the Feel-I, you're calm and collected. Don't come to a party unless it's perfected. But you can do it, all you do is try. And then you can say, I did the Feel-I. I went to the rooftop, and what did I see? Joe's love the winds, the Pee-wee. I went to him, asked how you doing. He said, watch me, cause there's nothing to it. He was jumping around, acting like a jerk. Then I thought to myself, hey, this might work. Then he moved his hand in the air like this. So I tried to do it, cause I couldn't resist. I said it ain't like that, and he said, why? Because I'm doing this dance called the Feel-I. He asked me to show him, so I obliged. Went to the back to all my Feel-I's. Went to the floor, wasn't put on hold. Then I bent my back like I was 90 years old. Bent my legs, proceeded to show it. He said that was fresh, I said, yeah, I know it. The day was so hot that the floor started burning. To do the Feel-I plus the Pee-wee Herman. The new fresh dance that it ain't no lie. Kicking steps to my beat called the Feel-I. Bust this beat.
Let's see if you can take it to the bed. I said, is you ready to take it to the bed? Put the fucking kids, you ready to take it to the bed? I said, is you ready to take it to the bed? I said, yeah, boy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up. I said, get up, get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Come on, get up, get on up. I said, get up, get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Take your seat. Ladies on the floor, shaking their bodies. Fellas going down, looking for a party. The weekend's here, and it's time to get loose. You're sitting around like the cook in the goose. 5 days your day, you wait all week long. You dance to a slow or fast-paced song. The beat is playing, the people
people are swaying to get a freak on the floor. You keep playing. Now it's your turn to do your thing. To get on the floor and you start to swing. The freak of your dreams asking for a dance. You know, in the club as the king of romance.
Get up, pop. Get on up. I say, get up, pop. Get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up, pop. Get on up. I said, get up, pop. Get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Come on.
See, I was chillin' at a party, swaying to the beat. But my only ambition was to get your freak. Time was running out and I was getting upset. And all the fly girls played hard to get. I made up my mind to take the hell of this place. When this bad young lady came in my face. Had a tight leather skirt, a silky shirt, and a twinkle in the eye, so she loved the flirt. I took this chance to introduce myself, cause she just wouldn't dance with anyone else. She said her name was Lizzie, she loved to get busy, and she could turn my world and make me so dizzy. The way she walked just blew my mind. She was a super duper freak and one of a kind. Held my hand and went on the dance floor, and I parked my body till I got sore.
Get up, pop. Get on up. I say, get up, pop. Get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Come out. Get up, pop. Get on up. I say, get up, pop. Get on up. I said, stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. What it is? have a seat.
You know what? Garbage truck smell like your feet.
Stop screaming and shouting and having a fit. So stop bugging on me, girl, and get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. And get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off. Get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off. Get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Now that you calm down, let me talk to you. See, I knew for a fact that the rent was due. Now, about the money, I take the blame. Because I lost $50 betting on the game. I bought speakers, pants, and a sheepskin hat, and a new goose down to put on my back.
$3.50 wasn't it? Don't give me that. You had to least spend $50 on some crack. You're a $20 nigga in a $50 world. With a $100 habit, I'm $1 million girl.
Now you're yelling again, just trying to see in my way. You ask me for money almost every day. You see, I need things too that you must admit. Why don't you be a real woman and not counterfeit? Stop screaming and shouting and having a fit. You stop bugging on me, girl, and get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off my tip. Get off. Get off, get off, get off, get off my tip.
Ask you for money on a mission from God. You never had a $50, let alone a job. Tell them all your friends that I'm easy to please. When you know from the gift you never had the keys. Now if I was so easy, we could deal with proof. Let's see who won't be living under this roof.
Let's drop it.
Your money.
Get off it, don't want it.
Just like green hornet.
You know that you want it.
Can't see I just slapped you way cross town. Grab you by your nappy head and throw you down. Every month 6 months you never comb your hair. If it wasn't for me, you'd be on welfare.
Talking about my hair, you got a lot of nerve. You got mat and stitches and wigs on reserve. And you wonder why I never take you out. The rumors call your hair the honeycomb hideout. Come to the honeycomb hideout.
Cut and fit the bus, the Mastodon Committee, and get off of my tip. DJ Cheese taking care of the tables on the place to be. 95.8 FM, I'm Mike Allen, it's 15 minutes after 9. And with the business, the Juice Report from New York City, it's Chuck Chill.
What's happening, UK? This is Chuck Chill with the Electro Soul Juice from New York City. Run DMC DMC was the big rap winner at the glitzy New York Music Awards held in Madison Square Garden Forum last Sunday. They walked off with Best R&B, which I'm still scratching my head about, and Best Rap Group Awards. Threesome, Run DMC, and Jam Master Jay also performed with their usual arrogant Def Jammin' flair. And looking around at some of the shocked faces in the audience, there still seems to be a lot of mainstream industry types who still get offended by the street beat of B-boys. However, the homeboys and girls in the packed audience got too down and cheered the Run DMC crew on. And speaking of running the boys, nobody could ever accuse them of cleaning up their act for the press. Interviewed on local television news after the awards show, Run was asked what the group's future plans are. He looked straight into the camera and said, "We're making a new movie, and we're going to be busting people over the head and killing people, too." Now, I could just see those white picket fence suburban types shaking in their living rooms, thinking to themselves that rap music is the work of the devil. Way to go, Run. Keep them on their toes. Houdini is back in black, which is the name of their new album. Jaleel, Ecstasy, and Grandmaster D, who sold nearly 1 million copies of The Freaks Come Out at Night, say they've been waiting until they had something really great before they released a new album. After listening to the LP, most will agree that the wait was worth every minute. I still think these guys are the most underrated rappers in the business, at least in the States, where they don't get the respect that I think they should. While shooting their Funky Beat video in New York, the guys told me that the boring Beastie Boys, yuck, LL Cool J, Run DMC, Olympic boxing champ Mark Breland, and former New Edition member Bobby Brown will make cameo appearances in their hot video clip. It's official. Slick Rick is signed with Rush Productions and look for a new record in a few weeks. And Doug Fresh outwardly hurt that his ex-right-hand man would take a powder from the Get Fresh crew, says he's still going to keeping on and will finish his new album without Rick. How interesting it will be when both have jams on the racks at the same time. There's no ship like friendship. You can count on it eventually sinking. Mantronics, back in the UK in a few weeks, will be releasing a new baseline 12-inch for U.S. consumption. Lately, they've shown signs of getting as famous here as they are there. Major American mags and media have finally discovered them. I mean, what took them so long? Mantronic, 1241 Scott the Rock, and Yours Chili were taking some pictures on the roof of Sleeping Bag Records last week. Both rappers are pure ham when the shutters are clicking. Each tried to outpose the other, occasionally straddling the concrete railings. We were 5 stories above ground, too. Talk about being close to the edge. Later, you kids. Keep chilling.
Chuck Chill on the place to be with the word from New York, the New York Juice Report. Catch it again next Saturday night at 15 minutes after 9.
Mike Allen.
Extra, read all about it. Houdini dropped another one in everybody's face. And dig it, they call this one Grandmaster D's Funky Beat. Bill Athletic.
Funky beat. Funky beat. Funky beat. Funky beat. Funky beat. Funky beat. Funky beat.
Right here and now, I do declare this to be the new funky beat of the year. If you want a funky beat, why not use mine? I be rocking funky beats all the time. So now's the time, and this is the chance. Cause the next record might not make you dance. Cause funk ain't nothing for the 4-letter word. That's all this spell, but seldom heard. Listen to the bass drum hit the ground. The bass sounds like it weighs at least a pound. You heard the drum roll, it wasn't clear in your eye. But tell me the truth, are you that surprised we make beats with rhythm and rhythm with beats? Hear my records in the club as well as the street. So to all you MCs that's looking for idols, Jalil's my name, Master Rapper's my title. This beat here will be served and deserved. We'll rock on point and turn all curves. We'll rock every beat with the greatest of ease. And if you try and drum roll us, for Bob and we will slip and slip, tear off
off-white shirt, just to show you what it's like when a rap is at work. So from now until the man who we feel is gonna go rocking on the wheels of steel. Grandmaster D, hit me. But how many have you heard Busta rap? My DJ, Grandmaster D, he raps on the mic with ecstasy and me. And when we're at the party, we turn it out, cause that's what Houdini is all about. I am the rapper that they call Jalil. Master D is the one on the wheels of steel. Behind the turntables, 1 and 2, something from Houdini, special for you. Yo, you, yo, you, yo, you, yo, you, yo, yo, last fest, I was rocking good times. This fest, I'm busting out rhymes. When I'm on the set, I take total control. I rock your mind, your feet, your body, your soul. Other DJs may stop and stare, but when I'm on the set, I show no fear. I rock the beat because it is fresh, and the other DJs know that I am damn, yo. And now the point we try to make is simple. On the turntable, he's quick and nimble. Since we're gonna prove our point. Now the Houdini's inside the joint. Born and raised in the streets of Brooklyn, there's 3 of us, and we're all good-looking young ladies. Hard with shoulder wins, cause like 5 plus 5, we equal 10. So easy on the tweeter, heavy on the bass. With some help from Master D, we gonna rock. My time is up, it's on you, John Will. All DJs are created equal. To this rap, there will be no sequel. People like you must understand that all rap groups don't need no band. All we need in order to achieve is some help from the master. You better believe, and you'll get results and not insults. And that's the way our business is dealt. The words we speak are so explicit. We rock from the Atlantic to the Pacific with the men with an international beeper. But call us at night because our rates are cheaper, and it's our intent to represent the DJ that'll give you 100%. More exciting than a one-man band, too good to be great, so we call the man Grand Master D. Ooh-wee, 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 ooh-wee.
Houdini. Reckon to be the prettiest boys in rap. Funky beats. On the place to be. Capital 95.8 FM. It's 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. You're locked into the boss. I've got a few troops to catch up on here. Tonight's crew call Roll of Honor. Right. From time to time, folks say, can we take a little trip back and hear some of the things that we might have missed, or will bring good memories to the front of the minds. From 1982, perhaps the definitive line from the 2 most aggressive street rappers up until the advent of LL Cool J that ever graced the planet. Run DMC, It's Like That.
It's like number one tune. The ball, 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 whack, whack.
Wop, baba-loo, baba-la, bamboo. Wop, baba-loo, baba-la, bamboo. Wop, baba-loo, baba-la, bamboo.
Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Hop forward, hop back, hop, hop, hop.
Played it for her, play it for me. Played it for her, play it for me. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
No, we need it so bad. We got to have it so bad. No, we want it so bad. Got to have it so bad. Give it to me so bad. Hey! We need it so bad. We want it so bad. We got to have it so bad. I wanna get under your skin. If I get there, I've got to win. We need some soul. Come on and get some. And then you know where I'm coming from. I may lay in the cut and go along, but I'm still on the case, and my rap is strong. Hey! Go jump on my train when I'm out of sight. Just check yourself and say, yeah, you're right. Hit me. Give it. Put it there. Love me tender and love me slow. I don't get it, but come back for more. You gotta get in the bracket. Know I like it. Look at here. You gotta get in the bracket. You know I like it. All right. Look at here. All right. Go ball on the ground. You got to get down, 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 down. Go ball on the ground. You got to get down, 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 down. Good God. I got to ask you what we need so bad. What we want so bad. I have so bad. What we want so bad. Hey! I think we got to go to the bridge. Can we go to the bridge, Bill?
Take it to the bridge.
Can we go one more time?
Yeah, take it to the bridge.
Bridge.
Don't drop it off the bridge. If you're looking for a list of who's going to appear on UK Fresh 86, stay here. Going to the States next week, should have some ink on paper. I have some firm details for you next week, I would hope. In just a moment, T-Kid in conversation on the place to be, most definitely 95.8 FM.
Now. Mike Allen.
It's a great pleasure to work on to the studios of 95.8 FM, the boss in London, T-Kid, a guy who's got a tremendous history when it comes to hip-hop and graffiti art. So T-Kid, welcome to the place to be.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me over.
Great pleasure. Tell us about how you first started doing graffiti and getting involved with the hip-hop movement generally in the 70s.
Okay, well, graffiti at then was a little bit separate from hip-hop music and all that stuff. But it started becoming famous right around the same time. Now, you asked me when I started graffiti. I actually started graffiti back in 1974. I used to live on Jerome Avenue in a building in front of an elevated train, and it used to park in front of me. The train used to park in front of my window, right? And overnight, when I was a little boy, I used to hear people spray paint on the trains, you know. And then I'd wake up in the morning and look out the window, and I used to see names like Tracy 168. I used to see names like The Man 550, Shake, FDT 56, Sunny 102. And then one morning I went to school, and they give this little magazine in school in New York called Read Magazine, and there was an article in it about graffiti, you know, and I looked at the article, and it said, Phase 2, graffiti writer from New York, blah, 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 blah. And they showed some of his work, and I got really, really fascinated by it, and I said, man, I gotta go out and do it, you know? So I started off, you know, and I used to go out by myself, you know, on the train, on the same layup, you know? And I used to scribble around, you know, like everybody else at that time was doing, you know, just, they weren't really doing these big elaborate works of art, they were just scribbling their names, you know? And I started doing it, you know, and I kept bombing, you know, bombing. And, you know, I progressed in it, you know?
Yeah.
And at that same time, you know, hip-hop was starting also. And hip-hop is quite old in New York, you know? It started at like around 1973, and then it faded away by 75, early 75, and then came back in late 79 and, you know, the 80s and now, you know? But it just started then, you know?
Now, there was a famous crew, wasn't there, that really sort of personified all this creativity. It was called the Wild Star Crew.
You know it, the Wild Star Crew.
Now, you were one of the earliest members of that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Who else was in that crew, and who formed it?
Okay, who formed Wild Star? Okay, it was a bunch of writers got together, and they were before me. I just had met them, okay? But the leader of that was Tracy 168, and there was writers in it like King 2, Santos 108, Sonny 107. You had Padre Dos, Bach, FDT 56. He was even down with them. Kid 56, and you know, a couple more. You know, and it would just get bigger. Crews always just get bigger. And then when I came in, I had met Tracy at his house. Some guy took me to his house. You know, he says, "Yo, you wanna really meet a good graffiti writer?" And I said, "Yeah." And he took me to his house and he said, "Man, this is Tracy 116." I said, "Wow, Tracy, I seen your name in front of my window." You know, I told him that. And he was really funny about it, you know. So me and him became really good friends, man. You know, buddies, man, blood brothers, as we say, you know. And it was so funny because I'm Hispanic and he was white, you know, Irish American, you know. And he was so into the Spanish scene. Like over there, it's different, you know. You're white, you stay in one section. You're Puerto Rican, you stay in another section. He was always in my scene, and he would take me to his scene. We would just go all over the place. We'd travel to Harlem and get into the black scene, you know, do all kind of things. You know? It was great.
Now, one of the guys who, on the music side of it all, was really scoring points then was Grandmaster Flash, surely, because he was one of the earliest guys to get recognition.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flash, I mean, they used to throw jams in Bronx River, right? And these jams, you know, they're out in the middle of the projects. They're outside in front of this little community center where they got their power from. And my man just used to come down, get on those turntables and just like devastate everybody, playing records like Cosmic Wind, Scorpio, or Bongo Rock, Apache, you know, deaf music like Mambo Soul, man, things people don't even hear anymore. And back then, breaking was a little different than what it is now. Back then, you used to do a lot of footwork, go down on the floor and do a lot of devastating footwork and be really fast, you know, and come out with freezes, which still exist now, and like blow people's minds away how you're moving so fast and then you just stop, you know, and people just say, "Oh man, yo, wow, stop," you know. And I guess that's how it started to intertwine, you know, graffiti and hip-hop, because it's the same thing. You try to devastate someone, you know, you try to blow their minds away. And then what you usually found was most of your graffiti writers, right, were always at these jams, you know, checking out the jams. And then after the jams, we go right on a train or something, you know. And we would go right on these trains with that music in our souls, you know, feeling that music still, you know, you're still hearing it in your head, you know. And we just go out there and start rocking them lines, man, you know.
Well, I reckon the track from Grandmaster Flash's current album called The Source, The Fastest Man Alive, really is still in that feel of those early days.
I mean, that record he made there, man, that fits him to the T, man. I mean, he is the fastest man alive when it comes to turntables. You know, he just blows you away, man.
Grandmaster Flash, the fastest man alive. You're listening to Capital Radio 95.8 FM. I'm Mike Allen. My special guest is T-Kid. Reckoned to be, without any question, of the elite when it comes to graffiti artists in New York. Now, we've been talking a bit, T-Kid, about then. What about now? What's happening in New York at the moment? Is that enthusiasm still there?
The enthusiasm is still there. The determination from us older writers is still there. Most of your new writers, you know. MTA is making it a lot harder for people to go and write. But us old writers, we still got that.
That's the Metropolitan Transit Authority.
Yeah, you got that right, yeah.
So what's the attitude they've got to guys such as yourself, man? Is this open warfare?
Yeah, it's totally open warfare, and, you know, they're losing. You know, they're really losing.
Because there was a truce call, wasn't there, at some stage, and then they had this new paint process going over the trains, which was alleged, this grey stuff, the grey death.
The grey death, they got rid of all the grey trains and painted them white, and then you hear Koch openly admit saying that's the worst thing he could have done, because when he painted them trains white, it was just like putting a canvas on them for us, you know, and then he made them double fences with dogs running through them. And
yes, I saw all that.
Yeah, well, that doesn't stop nobody, you know. That doesn't stop us. I mean, we're really determined, man. We jump over them fences, we cut through them fences. You know, we avoid the dogs, of course. Who wants to get bit, you know?
Sure.
So we were just going through the front of the yards, you know, and find all kind of ways to get in, man. You know, we really outsmarted them. You know?
You're going to give me a couple of clues?
They got certain areas, like roofs and stuff, where they can't put the dogs, okay? The double fences, or certain, like, embankments where it's not possible. And we would actually, like, climb through the side, like, of a river, for yards along the river. Or if it's elevated, we come right through the middle of the yard, cut some boards out, and just go up through there, you know, and make holes through the fences, you know, cut this Constantine wire that they have. It's very easy to cut with a pair of pliers, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, it's so simple. Or we just throw boards over them and flatten the wires down and like, cross them like that, you know.
The worst thing they could have ever done is actually make a movie like Rambo, because everyone finds out a couple of one.
That's right, you got that right, bro.
Now, that's what's happening at the moment. You can't repress the enthusiasm and the inclination to get out there. I've seen your name on a carriage, a whole of a carriage. So you must have been the king of the line.
Oh, man, I became the best in style, man. I mean, at first, you know, I wasn't too sure who the best was, you know. And a lot of good writers stopped writing, you know. And then I just kept doing it. I was determined, and I kept doing it. And my works kept getting bigger and fancier and more colorful and more wilder, you know. Mm-hmm. After everybody gave up, I kept going, and I got my crew together, TMB, TAT, and we all wild style, you know. We're all down with that. And we just get together and, you know, we don't really plan things out, like what we're gonna do. But we go in there and we talk to each other. We say, well, what are we gonna do? And we say, well, we're just gonna burn everybody. And when I say burn everybody, I mean, I'm talking about doing the best thing out there. And right now in New York City, TAT, TNB, Wild Style is the best. And there's no doubt about that. Anybody listening and they know Henry Chalfant, who is the entrepreneur of graffiti art, can call him up, write to him, and ask this question, and he will tell you right now, at this moment, I am the nastiest, and TAT-TNB is the nastiest crew. I mean, we do the best, and I put that lightly, man, because what we do is just devastating, you know?
Well, I've seen your work. And if folks want to actually see your work in the UK, you recently completed a billboard for TDK Tape at Vauxhall, just by the bridge.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate you weren't using skinny tops and fat caps, things like that. You weren't even using USA paint. But it's a devastating effect.
Yeah, well, you know, I was a little shaken up at first. I was a little scared because I wasn't sure about this paint, you know. And I really didn't feel comfortable with it. But they were kind enough to make the colors I wanted, you know, and everything. I mean, they especially mixed this paint up, which is rare, you know. Where the hell you find that? Yeah. So I went out there and I just kept my attitude, which was, you know, to blow people away, you know. And I just went out there and did it, you know.
Now, we were talking earlier on about current rappers and hip-hop people. And I know you've got an affinity and an affection for the work of LL Cool J.
Oh yeah, I like LL Cool J. He's bad. I mean, I've seen him on American Bandstand. He was deaf.
Yeah. Well, what about Rock the Bells?
Rock the Bells is the record, man. I love that record, man. Whenever we go writing, we think rock them bells, you know.
Rockin' the Bells on Capital. I'm Mike Allen. In just a moment, a final word from our special guest, T-Kid, graffiti artist from New York City, and also much more of those fresh beats. Keep it here, 95.8 FM. Mike Allen.
Hip-hop.
T-Kid, we've talked about the past. Now, what about the future? How do you see graffiti affecting and graffiti art and that attitude to contemporary involvement and that affecting art form in the future?
Okay, well, what I'm trying to do now, right, is I'm starting this project. Well, I've started this project. It's been out for a little while, called No More Trains. And what we're trying to do is make graffiti legal, you know? And what I do is I take kids off of trains and I put them to do positive work, you know, for the community and stuff like that. And I teach them, you know, how to paint with spray and how to actually draw with spray cans and stuff like that. But I try to always put in their mind that it's best when you do it and so people can appreciate it, not scorn it, you know, look down on it. And so far everything's been working out pretty good. You know, I haven't had that much trouble with the kids that I work with, you know, getting into trouble. Even though there is a few, I mean, you know, once you're a graffiti writer, you're always a graffiti writer. Even me myself, you know. Every once in a while I get that itch, that urge, that fever.
Caught
you know?
in an elevator with a can of paint and you've got to do it.
That's right. You know. But, you know, I try to influence and steer them towards the right direction. And basically, when I do, they do, and they learn, and they progress, man.
Right.
You know?
Well, I'm coming to New York this week, and I'll be looking for your tag.
Oh, it'll be there, believe me. Believe me, in fact, when I get back on the airport, if you come in through New York Airport or Kennedy Airport, man, whichever one of those, I might come back in. I'm going to tag it up, you know.
I'll be looking.
All right.
T-Kid, thanks for being with us.
Okay, it was a pleasure being here.
Now, we talked about the Wild Style crew, and we've got 6 large photos of the work you did with TDK tapes, which are really very special. And if someone would like to enter this competition to win one of these large photos of T-Kid's work, what I'd like you to do is to write me with the answer to this question: who was the creator of the Wild Style crew? Who was the creator of the Wild Style crew? You know the name. We mentioned it at least twice. The address to send that response to, it's Mike Allen, Capital Radio, P.O. Box 95.8, London, NW1 3DR. Do it today. 6 large photos of T-Kid's work, and I tell you what about a super new TDK cassette to go with it? All right, you got it. Get on the case, do it now. T-Kid?
Okay, it's
a
pleasure. Thank you, London. All right.
T-Kid on the place to be. He's out partying tonight, but you never know, you might catch him at the garden. Oh, what a giveaway. Which garden would we possibly mean? You got the address for that competition, haven't you? Mike Allen, Capital Radio, P.O. Box 95.8, London, NW1 3DR. Who was the instigator of the Wild Style crew? Get it off to me today. I did mention last night, in a moment of sheer and abandoned splendor, that there will be 2 competitions tonight, and I got it all fired up, but would you believe that I forgot to do it? I know. I'm really a latent window dresser. So let me tell you the truth. We'll have it on Friday. All right? Okay. You forgive me? Thanks. Great. That T-Kid, what a